Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 best cards from the brand new sets Black Bolt and White Flare. Scarlet and Violet, Black Bolt, and White Flare are set to release in July, and they have some really powerful cards. So today we're going to be going over my honest opinions on what are the best cards in this set. This set will most notably be legal for the upcoming 2025 Pokemon TCG World Championships, and I think there's a lot of potential with this set moving forward. But with that being said, if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's hop right into it. Alrighty, hopping into number 10 here, we have Ignition Energy. Ignition Energy reads, if this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, you discard it at the end of your turn. So this is a very powerful card. However, it discards at the end of the turn, which is one of the downsides. And as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides one colorless energy. However, you see those three colorless energy on this card? Well, that has a purpose. If this card is attached to an evolution Pokemon, this card provides three colorless energy instead. So you can slap it onto an evolution Pokemon for 3 energies for 1 turn, specifically colorless only, so it can't change to different types, which is one of the unfortunate things, but still being able to get 3 energy onto the board, even if they're just colorless for 1 turn, can be a big swing in the game. So it's good for high energy cost decks, for example, things like Hydreigon and Slacking as well. Some people have been talking about using the TM Blindside paired up with the Hydreigon to be able to snipe things on the bench, and paired up with Hydreigon's ability, take extra prize cards, and then Slacking as well. Slacking is a card that, in my opinion, has had quite a bit of potential for quite some time. However, being able to get multiple energies on it can sometimes be difficult, but with the Ignition Energy, it works perfectly with that. However, this card is relatively average. I think that in the future, if it gets a more powerful colorless Pokemon to be put onto it, then it might become a stronger card. But right now, it's just okay. Alrighty, hopping into number 9 here, we have Prism Energy. Prism Energy is a reprint. We saw this card several years ago in the competitive Pokemon TCG, and it was pretty decent. And it reads, as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. However, if it is attached to a basic Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but provides only 1 energy at a time. So this is going to be great for those basic decks like Ho-Oh Box, which has been seeing some success, and it has a bright future depending on printed cards. If we go more towards a basic attacker format, then something like Prism Energy becomes really, really powerful. However, if we kind of stick on this trend of evolution decks being the most powerful decks in the format, then Prism Energy is not necessarily going to see a whole lot of success. But it does have the potential based on future printed cards and where the metagame heads. Coming in at number 8 here, we have Zekrom EX. Zekrom EX with that Voltage Burst attack deals 130 damage and 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken, and it deals 30 damage to itself. This is going to be good in electric decks. It replaces Raichu V, most notably. One of Miraidon's big issues right now is it doesn't really have consistent ways to one-shot high HP Pokemon, but now Zekrom EX at the end of the game is going to be able to do that. So giving electric decks a viable one-shot option towards the end of the game is quite nice. I think this card is pretty good. However, it's just limited towards lightning decks, which is a reason as to why it is relatively low in this top 8 list. Alrighty, hopping into number 7 here, we have Genesect EX. Genesect EX has that Metal Signal ability, which reads, once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 evolution metal Pokemon and put them into your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. And then it has that Protect Charge attack, which for 3 energy deals 150 and you take 30 less, which honestly is not very powerful. It's mainly here for that Metal Signal ability. This card is good in Golden Go and also Metang decks as well. And the stronger metal decks become, the stronger this card gets. So if we see more metal support over the next few sets, then this card has a lot of potential. This card, quite good. That ability, being able to search out evolution metal Pokemon, is really, really cool, and I hope this card sees success moving forward. Coming in at number 6 here, we have Electric. Electric with that Dynamotor ability. We saw this card over a decade ago be released, and it has been reprinted. And the Dynamotor ability reads, once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. And this is phenomenal support for lightning decks, and having that consistent energy acceleration is really nice. One of the benefits that this card has over something like Magneton is, yes, Magneton gets lots of energies onto the board, however, gives up a prize card. This is something that doesn't. You're not giving up prize cards when you're using its ability, which is really, really nice. Next up here at number 5, we have Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper reads you choose up to 2 Pokemon tool cards attached to Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent, and discard them. This is also a reprint. This card was legal several years ago and honestly was a lot more impactful back then, as there were cards like Garbotoxin, Garbodor in the Pokemon TCG format. So Tool Scrapper is pretty good just because being able to remove tools is a pretty powerful effect, but the weaker tools are, the weaker this card becomes. And currently, right now, there aren't really a whole lot of tool cards that you want to remove. Take, let's say, Gardevoir, for example. Gardevoir oftentimes used to play 2 to 3 Bravery Charm, but now they're going down to 1, and even with the Jellicent builds, might be cutting them entirely. So this card doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of use right now. It's okay, but it's kind of hard to justify putting it in deck lists. So currently, I think this card is decent, and I think has a lot of potential in the future if there's really powerful tools in the format that exist. But I would say right now, it's not necessarily that good. It's more, for the most part, high up here just because of its extremely high potential moving forward. Next up here at number 4, we have Brave Bengal. Brave Bengal reads the tax of the Pokemon this card is attached to, excluding Pokemon with a rule box, so can only go on non-rule box Pokemon. If you want that extra 30, do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. This card is great as it helps one prize decks like Typhlosion, Roaring Moon, and Festival Leaf. And overall, it's just a healthy card in the format. EXs have become incredibly powerful, and giving those, more rogue-ish type decks a chance to compete against them is really, really nice. For example, something like Typhlosion maxing out at 280 means it was just short from knocking out some of those high HP Pokemon, but paired up with a Brave Bengal and also Victini, it is able to take those one-hit KOs on things like Dragapult. Coming in at number 3 here, we have Hilda. Hilda is a brand new supporter card that reads you search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and an energy card. Reveal them and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. This card is great in decks like Dragapult and any type of evolution deck that needs to search out those evolutions and energies can potentially use this card to their benefit. And it also is powerful in Neo upper decks, specifically Dragapult, because you can pull out, something like a Dragcloak or a Dragapult and also pull out that Neo upper energy from the deck. And the Neo upper energy can be one of the more difficult things for the deck to find because there was no special energy search in the format. So having access to Hilda makes that a lot more easy to pull out one of your most powerful cards in the deck. I think this card is absolutely fantastic and definitely is going to see play moving forward. Alrighty, hopping into number 2 here, we have Jellicent EX. Jellicent EX, one of the most hyped up cards from the new set, has that Sea Curse ability, which reads, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards or attach any Pokemon tools from their hands. So this card is going to be played in Gardevoir specifically, as you are able to power up that Power Press attack, which deals only 80 damage for 2 energy, but if you have at least 2 extra energy attached to it, it deals an extra 80 more damage. So 160 for 4 energy isn't necessarily super powerful. However, with that item lock, it becomes so much more threatening. On top of it as well, I didn't choose to include Frillish in the top 10 because I just wanted to, kind of combine them right here. So if Frillish was a separate card, it probably would be 8 or 9, but the Frillish has an item lock as a basic attack as well, which is really, really nice. A basic with an item lock attack that does more than Itchy Pollen is really powerful. However, it does take an energy as opposed to Budew. So Budew still is a little bit better, but there will be some situations where you start that Frillish and you just slap on an energy and you item lock them, which is really powerful. So yeah, this card, absolutely fantastic. Also synergizes nicely with Monkey Dory, as you need 4 energy to put onto it, which damages it, so that Monkey Dory can then fling that damage back, especially with that heavy retreat cost of 3. Is great to throw those energies in the discard pile and then reattach them onto your board, making that Adrena Brain that much more powerful. And hopping into number one, I honestly don't think it's that close. I think this is the slam dunk strongest card in the brand new set. We have Air Balloon. Air Balloon is another reprint. There are quite a lot of reprints in this set, and this one does not disappoint. It reads, the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 2 colorless less. So free retreat for most competitive Pokemon in the TCG is absolutely insane. Being able to also pretty much replace the rescue board as well is really nice, and also allows for easier retreats for things like Blood Moon, as Blood Moon has a 3 retreat cost, being able to put that down to 1, and also really powerful in decks that play, like, say, the Golden Go, being able to use that coin bonus for 2 and then retreat and then use another coin bonus for 2 is just really, really powerful. And also, if things like Dusclops or Dusknoir get stuck in the active, you don't have to use that ability and sacrifice it when you don't want to, and you can slap on an Air Balloon and get that free retreat. So there are so many applications for this card. This card is going to be played in quite a few meta decks, and I definitely think it is the strongest card to come out of the brand new sets, Black Bolt and White Flare. But anyways, let me know what you think of this list. Let me know if there's any cards you think deserve a spot on this top 10. And yeah, that is going to do it for today. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for all the support. As always, I'm excited to be releasing more Black Bolt and White Flare content soon. But anyways, that's it for me today. This is Smart TCG. I'll speak with you guys again soon. Peace out.